how do we compare this time to last year? He talked about the coaching staff. Nick, I want to start with you. How do you feel, all things considered? We had Hard Knocks, all of that stuff.
Last year, Hard Knocks was a total PR marketing move. It gave a lot of hope. It gave a lot of what can this team do? You re-sign Johnson. You don't get that very often. You take in the number 1 pick. You brought in Rome. There was a lot of hype around it. But the thing is that we were so blinded by having Caleb and actually being correct about a number 1 pick. And we were so blinded that we got a really good wide receiver at number 9. And we were so blinded by how well the team finished at 5-3 in the last 8, where they actually blew 2 of those 3 games where they could have been 7-1 and made the playoffs. We were overhyped. And then we were definitely brought down to earth after the Washington game. We were like, yeah, this team wasn't ready. And the big, elephant in the room is that we had a head coach that was going to be fired if we didn't take him. He was going to be fired. We had a head coach that was just a defensive-minded guy. We had an offensive coordinator that was fired the season before and had his former wide receiver go on Radio Row and say, good luck. He gave us the biggest red flag possible. This year, you have fans, you have players, you have people crying over us taking Ben Johnson and coming to the Chicago Bears. No one was crying about Matt Eberflus or Shane Waldron last year.
I was crying after the games.
Crying after the games.
After watching them.
I cried after that speed option on 4th down or 4th and goal in Indy. I cried on that, Nick.
But if we're talking about June 11, 2024, 365 days ago at this time, we were blinded. And that's the theme I'm going to say here is that we had so much hope and so much expectation of what this team could become because there was so much talent on it. But we were deflecting that bad feeling like King Buka World was just kind of saying. We were deflecting that because we wanted to feel good after how disappointing the last couple of years were. We didn't accept reality. Now the reality is that we have Joe Tooney. We have Jonah. We have Drew Dahlman.
I was going to say, Nick.
Yes, I can go on.
It's great. I just want to say this. The biggest blind point that we didn't see, blind spot, was the offensive line. There's other ones, but I think the biggest one was that interior offensive line. And we were so excited about DJ Moore, year 2, Rome Odunze, year 1, Caleb Williams, DeAndre Swift, year 1. It was all that we were thinking, all these weapons. It was almost like Madden, right? Forget the whole offensive line. I'm so excited to get all these weapon pieces that we kind of forgot. Well, you got to block up front or he's not going to be able to get the ball to anyone. Sorry,
and also,
I want to double down there.
The other one that we were missing was we had a defensive coordinator that didn't go to the scheme of our actual players. Tremaine did not play in an Eberflus type defense. You don't have a 6'5" linebacker that plays the way. That's why Tremaine's numbers have been so bad. Dennis Allen's yup, you're going to tip balls. You're going to do this and that. And that's why he's had a great camp so far. But that interior defensive line, both sides of the trenches on the interior side of things, awful. We lost Billings. We went from number 6 rush defense to 32 in 3 weeks.
Not great.
Not great. It bears math. We had no depth. Sure. We had a lot of hope. But now, with the answer to this question, is that we have a staff that's proven defensively with Dennis Allen, offensively with Ben Johnson, and a lot of hope. That's where I stand on the subject. I think that's where the difference stands. I didn't mean to take the floor the entire time, guys, but
please do. No, it's great.
That's why we had you on, Nick.
Yeah,
they're tired of hearing from us.
For sure.
That's where I stand on it. I think that I'm still cautiously optimistic, but I know that this team is going to be better than last year, and that's all that matters.
Oh, 100%. We've talked about it so much on the show. The biggest upgrade of the offseason wasn't any player, wasn't anybody Ryan Poles brought in. It was the coaching staff.
Yep.
It's 100%. That raises your floor of wins by at least 3. At least, because we lost 6 last year just from not knowing how to call a timeout. So it raises the floor alone just from time management by 3 wins.
Exactly.
And you're hoping it brings out the best of the players. So I'm glad you said that because we have been harping that. And because at the end of the day, you look at all these great teams and how they win. A lot of them, why they win multiple times, the main coach is there throughout. Players change all the time. But you'll see the leader of the organization stays there. Andy Reid's been there forever. Of course, having someone like Patrick Mahomes is great. But Andy Reid has been consistently winning at 3 different organizations because he's Andy Reid. So he knows how to lead a team and coach an offense. And so you see that throughout history. So I think like getting a head coach, I think it's very underappreciated in the NFL because changes just happen so often. It's almost like a shiny new toy. But if you look at the teams that win, they have consistency from their head coach. They lose coordinators, but from their head coach, consistency through and through.
Well, and that's why it's important he's offensive. As far as Ben Johnson being offensive minded, that's huge because he can't get poached.
Thank God.
But I think – go ahead. Or go ahead, Nick.
Dave, I want to go to your point real quick because I know we got to close out here in a minute. But I want to say this, is that the last time we had an offensive-minded coach was Matt Nagy, right? You look at what Matt Nagy had, though, in Andy Reid, who is the godfather of offenses. That guy just knows how to make things work. Ben Johnson was in Detroit with Dan Campbell, who, no, I'm just going to say, no. Offense was not his specialty calling. He is just a head coach. So Matt Nagy was guarded by Andy Reid. Ben Johnson was his own individual. That's why I think this is going to be a lot different this time around.
And I think when we signed Matt Nagy, he only had a couple games of offensive play calling under his belt. It wasn't even a full season. And if you remember, he actually lost in the year prior. They lost in the first round. This is with Patrick Mahomes because they didn't run the ball in the second half. That's how their season ended. They were up most of the game, and they did pull a Kyle Shanahan on the Falcons and didn't just close the game out and was better with the time. So, yes, there are definitely more flaws because you have a shorter data set to look at for how effective Matt Nagy was as a play caller. And also, like you said, he had the safety net of Andy Reid. What we have with Ben Johnson is 3 seasons of this man calling the plays, and not only 3 seasons of him having top 10 offenses. You look at the time before, because what happened was they fired the offensive coordinator his first season with the Lions. They fired him halfway through. Ben Johnson took the helms that year, and their offense literally went from bottom 10 to top 15. So you saw immediate impact of just having Ben Johnson at the realms. And then obviously we saw what he's done the last 2 years where they've just been the most dynamic offense in the NFL, top 5 in almost every category. So I agree with you, Nick, completely. You have more confidence, at least in Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen, because, again, a longer tenure, 6 seasons of top 10 defenses. So I can go to piggyback all the way back to you picking, top 5 and 14. I can totally understand. That is definitely best case scenario, and it can't happen because we have a better data set to compare to. These aren't just new guys off the block. Like, we were like, who is Flus? Like, what? You know what I mean? Like, this is someone people have known about for
Indianapolis that hasn't made the playoffs in 3 years while he's been the defensive coordinator. Yeah, this is a great idea.
Right. So we were excited for it. That's Bears fans, but
I think it's just what happens too with this league is you go offense. You had Matt Nagy who's offense. Bears are like, oh, hey, we got to switch this around. We went defense. Not the best. I mean, I think you in this league you want to go offense for your head coach if you can. There's very, very few like Mike Tomlin, but even
Sean McDermott, that's about it.
Yeah, right? But I mean, okay. Let's be honest. He doesn't have Josh Allen. That shit's not working.
Oh no question. Of course, quarterback is important, but yeah,
he's able to
if you're
kind
a
of
defensive coordinator, you need a transcendent quarterback for sure.
Yep, oh yeah, exactly,
for sure.
Yeah. So, all right, Nick. Well, hey, we're gonna let you get out of here, man. We appreciate you hopping on. You're amazing. Keep doing your thing. I think everyone knows where to find it. We have your stuff on the screen, but go ahead and check them out. YouTube. I think, are you still going daily? I'm pretty sure you are.
Daily.
Next month or
even during this very slow time, I'm daily.
I love it, dude. Well, there you go. Get your Bears fixed.
Give them a follow. Give them a follow for sure on all platforms.
Absolutely. Thank you, man. We appreciate having on.
Appreciate it, guys. You guys have a good one. Thank you for all you guys do. All right, have a good night.
Appreciate it, Nick.